each other. It's a good tool.
If you're using Pinterest or any social media tool, and it's making you feel bad about yourself, and it's making you concerned about like whatever you're not doing, like then get off.
Get out of there. Yeah,
get off.
It's not helpful.
Welcome to this week's episode of Teaching Keating. I am loud clacker and
clapper
and V-necked
or a clack.
Keyschnick over here. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the podcast V-neck.
You really think through your outfits before we
I know. I put it on and I was like, I don't know if V-neck was the way to go.
What do you dislike about it?
I don't know. It's a
little too out there. A little too vulnerable.
A little too chesty.
Oh no, we'll really have to think through the V-neck next
Welcome
time.
to Taco Meat Tuesday.
Oh gosh, that's really funny.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk about annoying.
Great segue. Great segue, Molly.
V-neck.
We're talking annoying Pinterest parents and teachers.
Okay. Yeah.
Not like the Pinterest parents and the Pinterest teachers who are out there making everything from scratch and making this and making all
Showing
of us
you
feel
how
like
awesome.
shit for what we're not doing.
I have to say, I am a huge fan of Pinterest. Use it a lot. Have historically used it for a lot of things.
Okay.
So
Let's get into it.
I want to be really fair because even though we're all parents and educators at some juncture, we do not all have the same gifts. My gifts for crafts, for creativity, for things like Halloween parties in my classroom when I was like throwing them, and then also later on in life after we had the children and I'm like being room parent and volunteering and all of this, I really struggled there, everybody. I just struggled. It is not my forte. It's not my gifts. I struggle spatial visually. I've come a long way, and I've really learned and grown in that in terms of just like the way my classroom was structured and sensory stuff.
If that's not your gift in your wheelhouse, then why on earth do you like looking at so much
because
but on Pinterest?
I am not a creative person. So like when somebody else does it, I'm a creative person. I'm not like creative like with that, like artistically. So when someone else does it and I can recreate it, that is helpful. That is thank you for saving me time and space and a lot of mental energy and tears, from my children, depending on what age and grade they were and what we were able to give. And I was still able to contribute on a high level and like with some, with some smart, fun stuff that was relatable to whatever holiday or whatever they were doing in the classroom without having to think of it all on my own. Some people are very creative like that and they can just do it. I was not that teacher. Okay, go ahead.
I have a question.
Please.
And I need a full, honest answer. There was, for a brief time, the oh-so-briefest time, when our kids were very little, where we were blending our children's baby food. Was this a Pinterest idea?
No.
No?
No.
Really?
Yeah, no.
I don't know if that's better or worse.
No, that's just me being a hippie. That's side.
Okay.
But yeah.
But thanks
for
so quickly.
Thanks for throwing that out there.
So quickly.
It was a lot of work. It was
a nightmare.
It was a nightmare, and it wasn't super palatable. They didn't like it. It was just too much. It was too much.
Also,
it was fine.
They make baby food.
I know, but I was really trying to be as clean and organic as not giving them as much crap in their bodies. It wasn't realistic for us.
How long?
I have a lot of ideas.
How long did that last for us, honestly?
Probably like a month.
Okay. I was going to give it 2 weeks tops.
I think like a month from like start to finish before we're like, this isn't sustainable. We can't do it.
Nightmare.
Yeah. No, that was not a Pinterest project. That's just me, babe. Being me.
Oh boy.
But thanks for thinking it was a Pinterest. I mean,
I've always wondered.
I'm sure there is now. Now it's not even Pinterest. Now it's more like TikTok and all of the ideas that people are getting. Whatever. Insert whatever annoying thing here. So, but I do want to be fair. There were times, recipes when I was doing whatever gluten-free stuff, whenever it was doing more, like there is actual helpful stuff on there. Now, it's kind of become sort of a dumping ground for all this other crap that I don't really love.
It's become a look at me space.
So thank you. So I was going to parlay to the point of like, Well, now it's become competitive, as all things are on the interwebs.
Yeah.
Where it's like a one-upsmanship of like who's who and who's doing what. And I think I didn't have a clue about it until maybe I would say Char's like second or third grade year. And like the Valentine's boxes, anyone who's in elementary school will know what I'm talking about.
Dude.
These stupid Valentine's boxes. And how they have to be characters and how they have to be a whole thing. And I'll never forget one of Char's teachers telling me one time, and it was very indicative of sort of like the kind of parent that this person was, but just like one of the parents in her class had spent a long time on the Valentine's boxes, but the child wasn't even doing their sight words.
Yeah.
Like at all. Like couldn't get the sight words down, not doing the test, was not like, so they weren't focused on the sight words, but they were really focused on the Valentine's Day box was crushing.
On point.
Yeah. And I remember thinking like, okay, that's good feedback.
Yeah.
I will, and I was never that parent. Like I said, I always struggled.
We spent 0 time on the Valentine's Day box.
That's not true. I would come up with a plan with Char, and we would do it together. Sorry.
We spent 0 time on the Valentine's Day box compared to how much time we spent reading stories to the kids.
All the time.
That was constant.
Again. And that was not our brand.
I'll tell you this, I spent 0 time on the Valentine's Day box.
You spent 0 time on any of those things.
I
don't feel like you ever did. Maybe you did one with Char that she hated the one we did.
Because it's optics.
It is optics. It's
optics.
Constant optics.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are we doing here, folks?
Yeah.
Why do we need to spend why does it need to be so extravagant and crazy? Now, don't get me wrong. I like a good Halloween party.
Shoebox.
I like cute
construction paper, hole in the top, draw some hearts on
Which is what Everett's always looked like. Because he is you. He doesn't care. He's totally practical. He's like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, just could give, 0 care. Still to this day about anything, that he cannot be bothered with. Very much his brand.
Yeah.
And not because it's, our son or our daughter. I just think Char just tends to be, a little bit more creative like that. She cared about that. And because she cared about it, I tried hard, even though I sucked at all that stuff. I did try hard because she cared. But not so much she was trying to compete. She just really liked it to look cute. Go ahead.
To parent well doesn't afford you a lot of time to begin with.
No, it doesn't.
And so to waste time on things like that is baffling for me.
Well, and what's the most annoying part about it, and I'll just say what it is right now, for TikTok, it's just what is the point?
Right.
What is your why? And that's sort of our question, not because of the book, but that's sort of our brand and how we live our lives and what we've been asking, how we've always lived before there was a book titled about it. It's just what's the point? What's our end result? What's the fruit of this? And why are we doing this? And we ask it all the time. We ask it of the kids, and we ask it as teachers.
My question for so many of these TikTok influencers or Pinterest influencers.
We said Pinterest, but really it's
my question is hey,
Instagram, Reels.
Would you be doing this if it weren't going online?
Exactly.
I think for a lot of them,
you weren't trying to show people.
I think for a lot of them, the answer is no.
I mean, maybe more so. I don't know if that was true, of Pinterest, bless you.
Oh my gosh, that was such an obnoxious sneeze.
Yeah.
Sorry.
In its inception. I think it was created as an actual helping sort of, a site that you need for quick fixes, whether it be dinner or crafts or gardening or all of the sort of home lifestyle things that it was originated for. I appreciate. I appreciate it. I find them on there. It's a very useful tool to me. I'm not on there all the time. I would say of anything, I would frequent it probably the most for ideas and just help and that sort of thing, where to get certain specific things that I like, if I have a specific brand in mind, but because I'm pretty specific when it comes to the stuff that I'm looking for. And so if you're looking for pretty unique things that are hard to find that are not directly on Etsy or something like that, Pinterest is a good place for it. It's useful. However, that's not the why currently, I would say. That's definitely not the why for TikTok. We thought it was going to get banned. It's not banned. I definitely don't think it's the why for Instagram.
P.S. I get that. Also,
the irony.
Yeah.
People are gonna put this on TikTok. I get it.
Our podcast shows up on TikTok. It shows up on all these places. I get it.
Sure. Yeah.
Boy, is this the pot calling the kettle black.
Well, I just hope it's not people's one-stop shop. And if they see us and are directed and like listen to the podcast and like it, great.
Also,
then that's useful.
Also, I would argue too, like the podcast isn't a place, like right now is not the place where we're like showing our best. I don't think so.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was just really listening to try and like understand what you were saying there. Like we're not being flashy and like dressing up or like doing, like I'm not really doing my makeup crazy. Like, no, this is how I look when you see me on the street.
Yeah.
I will put mascara on.
I'm gonna be wearing this V-neck later today.
You will be.
You know,
yes.
like
yes, these are my actual clothes. Yeah, stuff like that. Like we're not. There's no flash.
So much of the podcast is sharing about like, hey, here's where we've screwed up.
Totally.
Yeah,
and I think that's for
anyone else not know what the hell they're doing, because that's what it feels like for us.
Yes. And I don't think that's unique to us. I think that's probably the podcast space that it's evolved to, and it is currently, which is why podcasts are doing what they're doing sort of all over the planet. And I think that's good. I mean, that's why we listen to the ones that we listen to. That's why we're doing one. We have had feedback that it's helpful, and it's helpful for people, and that's why we do it. And if it wasn't, then we'd stop doing it. Like that, that's our why.
Yeah.
But I do, and that was my why with Pinterest at the beginning. It's like, this is actually helpful to me.
Yeah.
I use it in a pinch for things that I really need to get done quickly. I don't have time to like spend excess brain time on. That's great. That's a useful tool for me. But that's just what it is. It's a tool. And I don't like the fact of it, just like the morph, the morphing into, well, it now needs to be this, and it's all about flash, and there's all these different, I don't know, camera settings and lights and all these different, I don't know. I just think it's weird. Do you think it's generational?
How so?
Like just that it's morphed into something where everyone's trying to put their best foot forward and get more attention. That's become an attention-seeking type. Look at me.
I think that's generational.
Platform.
For sure.
Sure.
I think
platforms.
I think that's generational. The sort of like, hey, my life is a show platform.
Sure.
And again, irony not lost on us here, right? As we sit here and there are lights and cameras.
I get it. Yeah.
But I think at the core, I'm always interested in the why behind why people are doing things.
Yeah.
Because if it's about look at me and look what I'm doing that you're not doing, I have no interest in that. But if it's like, hey, I want to put something out into space that I think is helpful for people, to your point, it's the only reason we do the podcast, because the feedback that we've received is like, hey, people like this. It's helpful for them to know that, like, whether it's parenting or education or married life, like, they're not the only ones who are thinking this and feeling this way.
We wouldn't be on year 6 doing this if it wasn't helpful for people. We would have called it a day.
Yeah.
We're already in a marriage and in a business and parenting children. Yeah. It's not like we needed that. Like, let's add some more to our plate. Like,
adding like, hey, let's go into a studio and devote time to this.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's not.
It's been beneficial, but that's not our why.
Yeah.
It's our why is because it's been helpful.
Yes.
And when it ceases to be helpful, then it will cease.
We'll stop doing it. The minute our number of listeners goes down to 0, we'll stop doing it. But as of right now,
doesn't seem to be.
No.
I don't know.
Do you know? I finally looked the other day.
Oh, I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know.
Okay.
Here's the thing. I don't want to know because I know that Joe Rogan literally doesn't look at his metrics. Like people tell him, and he was like, "I don't want to know." Like he doesn't. He doesn't
I made
care.
the mistake of looking.
He only knows because people tell him, and obviously he knows because he's popular or whatever, and he gets whoever he wants on. But like, no, I mean,
okay, I won't tell you because
please don't.
I looked at the number of
Doesn't matter
unique downloads, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
I had no idea how many people were listening.
Great, thanks guys. Very appreciative.
Thanks. We'll keep doing it, and when it gets down to 0, we'll stop.
Doesn't matter. It shouldn't impact us at all.
No.
It's not our why. It's not our why. It has 0 impact on why we do this.
I do love, and it happens. I've told you it happens every time I travel. Women especially will come up and tell me. Their first question is always, "Is Molly here?"
Yeah.
No, sorry, just me.
I do think because it's the 2 of us on the podcast, everyone thinks we're a package deal wherever we go. Well, in fairness, that's kind of true. We are a package deal to our children.
I get asked every trip, "Is Molly here?"
Yeah.
And we
did, in fairness, do some unique we had some unique opportunities to be together and do some PD, which that was a very unique opportunity.
We did in the past. We did a couple of live podcasts.
If it works out, and if it's,
I would like to do that
if
again.
we're able to do it and it makes sense for the audience and what we're
Matt,
doing.
Matt, you want to fly out somewhere and do a live podcast with us? We'll fly you out.
I mean, DC was fine. It wasn't our best only because it's very hard for you to transition from this mode to keynote mode.
Totally.
And that's not on you.
Yeah.
But you have a hard time. Like if we do this in front of an audience, you are in keynote mode. You're not in Weston mode. And that's difficult for me because I'm like, who the hell are you? Can you just like be normal and like stay here and talk to me? And you just have a hard time. It's okay.
I know.
I monologue
too much.
Yeah.
It's
okay. You just want to make sure they get the points.
Yeah.
And you want to make it useful. But it's a little bit much. Anyway.
We've deviated from the topic.
Hey, I have one question for you.
Okay.
Have you ever used Pinterest in your life?
Not once. No, that's false. That's false.
Okay, really?
I almost don't even want to share this with you.
Okay.
Because it was a cheat code for me for a while.
Okay.
I would go on Pinterest and look at stuff that you had pinned to get ideas.
That's good.
To buy you.
Good husband move.
For birthdays and Christmases and all that stuff.
Great. That's a great husband move. Everyone should do that.
It was such a cheat code.
Yeah, that's not a cheat code. All of Pinterest is a cheat code.
Remember the purse I bought you the one year?
Yeah.
You had a purse exactly like it pinned to your board.
There you go. Well, genius.
And
smarter. And it was genius, and I loved it.
And I remember you telling me like, this is exactly what I would have picked out. And I was like, I just know you. Meanwhile, I was like,
what did you put on here?
What's on the Pinterest board?
I was going to say, I thought you used it a little bit during COVID when you were grilling all that time.
No.
For recipes? You didn't use it any?
No, I went on YouTube for all that.
Oh, okay. Well, yes. Yeah. YouTube is men's Pinterest, everyone. Just for the record. Either or.
Yeah.
A lot of how-tos. Now they're all connected and they just bump you to the other if you want to do, I mean, whatever. I love Pinterest. I still use it. I really like it. Used it for my gardening tips this year.
I'm glad.
It's great. And I don't posture on it and I don't post anything. And if you're posting on there.
You don't post anything on any social media.
No, I'm not a social media person. I'm just not. You're enough for the both of us. You are.
Let's play He Said, She Said.
Let's
go. You're enough for the both of us.
You are.
Yeah.
I don't have anything new to say that you're not putting out there already, so that would just be redundant. You always make fun of my sisters because all she does is repost.
All she does is repost her husband.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
So why do I even need to be on there? You're just doing it. Everyone's up to date.
All
Great.
Right, I got you.
Let's work smart.
All right, Matt. Let's get it.
Yeah.
All right. If your spouse had to create a Pinterest board, what would be on it?
Yeah.
Since we just discussed this.
Yes.
What would be on a Pinterest board? Either the existing one or if they had to create one.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the good news. I haven't taken a look at your Pinterest board in years.
I don't think I've updated it probably in years. I don't have time. And we've transitioned out of that phase. The kids aren't in elementary school anymore, so like I wasn't doing their projects then, but I'm really not doing them now, guys. So there's no use. It's more personal use for like recipes and gardening and stuff like that, which I'm not pinning. I'm just using. So okay.
I think I've got a pretty good idea.
Hold on. I still need to use. This might be too personal, but I'm gonna write it anyway.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm so excited to learn what you're gonna write.
What are these things called?
These things?
Yeah.
Cheeks?
Yours.
Mine?
Yeah, the little. What FJ gave you? What are those? What are they?
Oh, Zins?
I'm so mad about. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, this should be good.
I know it should be. Okay, ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Go.
Good. I wrote grilling, sports, jokes, best Zen products. Or insert whatever little pouchy thing is best there. I know you have in one right now. I know you're an addict. It's okay.
I would go gardening, Jesus, and cute clothes. That's what's on Molly's
all
board.
True. Add travel on there too. Probably travel cute clothes. But yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I was gonna say travel stuff wouldn't be on there.
Sure.
Because I plan all the travel.
No, that's what I'm saying. I plan travel outfits.
Oh, you plan travel outfits.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
Molly
very
shows
specific
up,
to where
pulling
we are
her
in the
bag.
world.
It's got the travel outfits. She doesn't know what time the flight's leaving. She doesn't know
That's
what
not true.
airline.
I do. You keep me very abreast.
Why
we
do
have
people
a very
lie?
strong.
Why do people lie?
You always give a very clear itinerary.
Yes. And you show up.
I
and
do.
You're just,
I have the itinerary.
Yes.
Okay,
All
good
right.
one. Okay, Matt.
All right. What's your spouse's reaction when someone says, "So I saw this idea on Pinterest"?
Great. Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's your spouse's reaction?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
I was going to say that I
Yeah.
did the same thing.
Okay, what is your spouse's reaction to when somebody says, I saw this on Pinterest? I'll show yours first. Molly's reaction when she hears, I saw this idea on Pinterest, is excitement from concentrate. So excited. Like that if you meet Molly on the street and you introduce yourself and you say, hey, I listened to the podcast. Also, I saw this idea on Pinterest. You're going to be fast friends.
Ooh, I can't wait. Tell me what. Tell me what
it
said.
Tell me more.
I can't hear it. I can't hear it quick enough.
Yeah.
Weston's would be, boo. Wait, what? I stopped listening when you said Pinterest.
Accurate. Accurate.
Wait, what? I didn't hear you. I stopped listening.
The minute I hear Pinterest, it is boo, eye roll, puke. I'm not
I'm
listening
out of
anymore.
here.
Yes.
Walk out of the room.
Yeah.
Or out of the conversation like you do.
You're about to see the back of my head.
That's true. In a loving way, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
In a loving and respectful way.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Who's more likely to pretend they made something from scratch when they absolutely just bought it?
Oh. Well, I already gave away a bit. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Weston.
I see two for Weston.
Yes,
Yeah,
two for Weston.
That's correct.
Yeah. Who's more likely to say they? I do this a lot.
You do this all the time.
Just so you know.
I don't know when you actually bought or made anything.
Just so
last
you
time.
know.
Or, sorry, when you bought something all the time. I don't know when you actually made something.
If you've
the
ever
last time.
been to my house and you've had potato salad, I bought that shit. I put it
Unless I made it, in which case he didn't.
Molly did not make it. You don't like making potato salad.
I don't. It's very finicky, and
Also,
I do it rarely.
Also, you can't make it better than you buy it in the store.
You can. My mom does.
I have bought the
But I
deviled
don't
egg
do it.
potato salad.
Yeah.
I have put it in a nice bowl, and you said this potato salad is so good, and I've said thank you.
I have not said that because I know where you got it from, but I still like the potato salad. Anyway.
I am the king of the
Yes.
only thing I'm gonna make if you come over and I'm making anything, are I'm gonna grill something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or I'm gonna make chili.
Yes.
I do
in
that
the winter.
really well.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Chili in the winter.
Excuse me.
Grilled something in the summer.
Yeah, sorry.
Always.
Classic.
Yes, classic Mo.
Sorry.
Yeah, but I'll all of the side dishes I have put in a bowl, and chances are I bought those from somewhere,
Everyone's aware.
which I know you're horrified by.
I am. It's embarrassing, but it's okay.
I don't care.
I know. We don't. At this point, it's like they know who we are.
Yeah.
We have time to do
None of
something.
our friends would leave
No.
our house and say oh my gosh, they bought the potato
But
salad.
in fairness, when we're actually home and we have people over and I have time to cook, I do prepare everything.
Yeah.
And you do grill it. It's just not like when we're in a rush, and when we're in a rush or in a hurry.
I see no
Rush
problem.
and hurry.
I see no
hush.
problem
Yeah.
with buy it and put it in a nice bowl.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
All right.
What's the most Pinteresty thing your spouse has actually pulled off?
Oh. Huh. I don't know if I have.
I've got yours.
Okay.
The most Pinteresty thing. Actually,
Are you erasing and thinking it? Okay. I'm going to have to.
okay.
Let me
3,
know.
2, 1, show.
Okay. The table?
The
Okay.
table.
Yeah. I made a table with my father-in-law. It's in our house. And
Yeah.
it was directly from
Molly
Pinterest.
made a coffee table.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
in our house. She made it with my dad, and I'll tell you, it's awesome.
It's a solid coffee table. I'm proud of it.
But
Good plan. I couldn't have come up with the plan by myself.
I'll-
Thank you, Pinterest.
I'll tell you this:
Yeah.
between you, Pinterest, and Big Phil, turned out awesome.
Yeah, did.
Yeah.
You need that many parts to be able to pull it off.
If you pull
Yeah.
one of those pieces out of the equation,
Yeah.
other than my dad, probably.
Yes.
Right? Like my dad could make a table on his own.
He could, but I didn't have the wood saw. And he did
Yeah.
the plans with me. He went and got everything. It was great. And then I did it.
But my
Yeah.
dad is also
Yeah.
a perfectionist.
Yeah.
And so he'll make sure it's not just a good table. He'll make sure it's a great table.
He and I are together.
Like
I
we
mean,
have,
for better, for worse.
we
I'm
have a
still-
coffee table
Yeah.
in our house that you made. You got the idea off Pinterest, and when people see it, they can't believe you made it.
I mean, they can if they look really closely, because there's lots of imperfections. But I don't
Sure,
care.
whatever.
At this point, I had to let it go.
Yeah.
It just wasn't what it was. I said the Volvo car light changed, which you did, but that actually wasn't a Pinterest. That was a YouTube.
That was a YouTube. So proud
But
of
it
myself.
was a really big deal because you didn't know how to do it. You looked it up, and then you got the parts and you did it.
I did the air filter in my car last year too. I was super happy about
Forgot
that.
about that one, but
yeah.
good. Yeah, good. Great.
I get so excited.
Not Pinterest, but YouTube, but same diff.
I'm not a handy guy.
Yeah. Again, for stuff like that, it's useful. It has its use. It's great. It's a tool.
Yeah.
Lovely. Last one? Great.
There's one more here.
Okay.
Yeah. Who's your friend who is most likely to show up to a school event with homemade snacks in individual themed containers?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Who is so you got to pick one of your friends. I have to pick one of my friends.
You could probably pick a couple, because do you have a friend like that? I mean, maybe.
I think it can be across both of you.
Yeah,
if
I
you
think
want.
so too.
Okay. Matt, read it one more time for me, will you?
Who's your friend who's most likely to show up to a school event with homemade snacks in individual themed containers?
Homemade snacks in individual themed containers. 3, 2, 1,
Go.
show. Oh! Totally.
Guess. We guessed the same person. So it's our friend Teresa, who's really great, who was an educator, who was a teacher, by the way, and who lives in our neighborhood. And also we see him at church from time to time, and she has 3 boys. But she was a biology teacher, and she's very spatial visual. So like this is perfect. She's a perfect example of somebody who this stuff just comes really easy to. She's got a good plan. It's a really easy lift for her.
She has 3 boys who are awesome kids, but they're wild men. They're little boys.
Yeah.
And in the midst of all of the wildness,
and she just keeps it together.
She still finds opportunities to make stuff from scratch.
Yeah, she was a room mom with me, and we're very similar, dietary wise and eating. We've been room moms because our kids are the same age on both, so we've been room moms multiple times with multiple children.
Yeah.
And she's a great pal. But yes, good. I'm glad we both guessed her. I don't know if she would agree with us. I think she'd be like, I don't do it at all. But I think she.
Why do we think that then?
Because I think she underplays how easily that kind of stuff comes to her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think she's organizationally,
and she's a real almond mom.
That's her niche. She's really great at it. Anyway, great. That was a great one. Okay. All right. Last one, Matt. Do we have one more? Or is that it? That was it.
The last
Okay,
one. Yeah.
Great.
I was thinking, I have 0 friends who would do anything like that.
That's funny that she came to both of us, which means there's some validity there.
Yeah. The only
now I'm gonna have to ask her.
The only other person I thought about maybe is Stacy.
Yes, very much so.
But it would only be with baked goods.
Yes, I was going to say hers is unique too, but it's only that's like a birthday party one where she does like cakes and cupcakes and that kind of stuff.
And she'll make like the cupcakes and cakes from scratch.
Also an educator, also very creative.
Yeah.
Yeah, and has helped in the past. Just know your friends' gifts, everybody, and don't reinvent the wheel. Know yours, know other people's. Yeah. They're not all the same, so just utilize each other. It's a good tool.
If you're using Pinterest or any social media tool, and it's making you feel bad about yourself, and it's making you concerned about whatever you're not doing, then get off
of there. Yeah,
get off.
It's not helpful.
I feel like for so many people, it's just hey, 95% of life is really, really great. And what they do is they hop on social media and it makes them worry about the other 5%.
Sure. Comparison is the thief of joy, everyone.
Yeah. And it's
not ours.
It's just hey, you're looking at this 5% you want to be better at instead of this 95% where you're doing a really good job.
Run your own race.
And
we said it before.
If that's what you're using social media for, dude, get off. You're doing it.
But use it as a tool, because it's a helpful tool when in need.
Totally.
It can be used for very helpful things, which I have in the past.
That'll do it for this week's episode of Teaching Keating. As always, like, subscribe. Thanks for those of you who have already liked and subscribed. You can find us on YouTube. Find us anywhere you get your podcasts. You can find me rolling into August here. Here we go. I'll be in New Mexico this week. Molly, where can we find you?
I mean, if we are rolling into August, then I will be not driving to football. Well, for this last month. Sad. Okay. I said that out loud and I was like, I just had some feels. So we can shut that down. We're going to wait for it. Yeah.
Shut it down.
Yeah, we're not there yet. Let's not rush. I'm just going to compartmentalize until it's really time to feel all the feels. But we're transitioning, a lot of life transitions this coming up. So just rolling into all of those. Very exciting times.
All right.
Yay.
We'll catch you on next week's episode. Be well.